Hi class, so everyone should have a ball of clay on their desk. We're going to start off with just pushing any air bubbles out of the clay. And once you feel like you've gotten all the air bubbles out, we're going to go ahead and roll it back into the ball that it started off as. You can see the clay just molds your hand super nice. It just pushes, so just going to roll it around, roll it on your table. And once you feel like you've got more of a ball shape, we're going to go ahead and we're going to push our thumb right into the middle, just like that. And then we're going to start getting both of our thumbs in there, and we're just going to work it. Work the clay until that hole is bigger and the rim is smaller to create the pinch pot. So we're just gonna work it back and forth until you've got to the thickness of your pinky. That's what we're shooting for. Alright, so I've been working this clay for quite a while. As you can see, it's about the thickness of my pinky. That's about how you want it to, but the edge is still not round, so we're gonna flip it upside down, drop it on the table a couple times just to ensure our top of our pot's nice and flat. You can still see it's kind of thick, so I'm gonna work it just a little bit more, but yeah, you want to be about the thickness of your pinky. So I worked it a lot more, it's a lot thinner, but I'm still going to make sure that that top is flat, so dropping it a couple times to ensure that it's flat. And yeah, so that's looking pretty good. It's the thickness of my pinky, nice and flat. So you're going to go ahead and work on your pinch pot on your own. You need 2 pinch pots, so we've done this one together. Now it's your turn to do your own, so good luck. Class, so now that you got 2 pinch pots, we're gonna get those 2 pinch pots and show you how to put them together to create your folk art animal. So here we go. They're about the similar size and thickness. Things we're gonna need some slip, which is just some watered down clay, and this is what will adhese the pots together. Next, we're gonna get a toothbrush to score, put some texture onto there, just to work those edges. So here I am, I'm just scoring it down, creating some texture on there, on those edges of the pot, just for it can adhese together the 2 pots. I'm gonna do to both sides you can see I'm just putting some lines in here just to give it that texture, like I said. So you want to do it to both sides really well so they stick together. So next I'm just going to dip my toothbrush into the slip and just make sure I got it on all the surfaces of the edges of the pot. Just working it around. Make sure you got plenty of slip on the edge of your pot. So now I got that one done. Now I'm going to do the other one to make sure it has plenty of slip as well. So, yep, there we go. We've got it on both sides, as you can see, quite a bit, good texture, and we're just gonna put them together. And there you go. So everyone get to this step. And you can see there's a big old joint in there, but we're gonna work it. So kind of push your pot together, make sure it's nice and good, tight. Alright, so now that you got your 2 pots together, we're going to use just this clay smoothing tool to smooth out that joint. We don't want that joint seen in your animal. So we're just going to work it so it's nice and smooth and looks as one piece. So I'm just going to push it down, pushing that clay into that joint. And yeah, so it just seems seamless. I worked it all the way around the edges. It's pretty much all smoothed out. Now it's looking like one ball instead of 2 pinch pots. So you can still see it's not perfect, but we're gonna keep working it a little bit here and there, just to put them all together as one. So yeah, and then I'm gonna have you guys use sponges, but I'm just gonna use this rag just to smooth out the clay completely. Just from when I smoothed it out, there might be some areas where I may have pushed too hard or whatever. So we're just gonna make it nice and smooth for your animal. Looks as your 2 pots are as one big ball. So we're just gonna keep working around, smooth it all out. Completely around. Yeah, so there we go. It's looking pretty smooth. You can just keep working it a little bit here and there. But yeah, so right now it's looking like a full circle, and you can't really tell where we put the pots together. So yeah, just keep on smoothing this out. You got your pots together, it's all smoothed out, looking great. Now we're gonna get some texture on it. So up front in the class, we have a box of texture, different things you can impress on there, if it's fabrics or kitchen utensils, whatever it is. But like I said, we're doing this folk art animals, so you want to make sure it's bigger than life and more exaggerated, and you want to make sure your animal looks even more realistic. So we're gonna put some texture on there. I'm gonna be using a clay tool to put some texture on there, on this turtle. So I'm using this clay tool right here. I'm just gonna make a bunch of lines in there to make my own texture, but you guys can make your own texture, or you can push something in the clay that we have up front. But you don't want to go too far in there. You don't want to push too hard and go through the clay. But I'm just gonna make a line going all the way around. I'm doing a turtle, so the turtle has 2 parts of the shell, so putting a line to distinguish the top half of the shell and the bottom half of the shell. So put the line all the way around, and then I'm just gonna put some lines, some geometric lines into the top of the turtle shell to make it very realistic. So I pretty much got all my lines on the turtle. As you can see, it's got nice and good texture on it. Like I said, folk art animal, you want to make it bigger than life, so I'm just really emphasizing all the crazy lines in the turtle. So here you can see those lines. So yeah, you don't push too hard, but also you want to make sure that you get that texture in there. So you have to push this a little bit hard to make sure your texture's in there. If you want to put texture fabric, you can simply put the texture on the table and kind of roll it over, or you can just press it in there, kind of like that, just roll it over. But yeah, so you can use fabrics, materials, or you can just use a clay tool like I'm using to create my own texture of my folk art animal. But but yeah, your goal is just to make it even more realistic with the texture. And like I said, don't go too deep, but go deep enough where you're leaving your texture behind. So yeah, get your textures and be creative.